It would have been a very difficult duty for the government to supply these books without the help of the association. And it went on very well, and every school was getting their material in good time. And it was the exercise was very vibrant because teachers were allowed to choose the kind of books they would want to use, because the KICD would come up with the approval of 6 books per subject. Then schools would order among the 6 copies, titles from different publishers, the one they want to use. The other thing is that during the time of the CS, Matiang'i, that is when things changed and the government took over the supply of the same to schools. What we have seen as a result of that is that it is now chaotic in schools, and the principals and head teachers can confirm this. One of the most grievous issues that we contend with is that teachers are not allowed to make a choice of the book they want to use. Therefore, they do not as well own up to the results that is produced by teaching using a book that is imposed on them. The other thing is standards, quality standards of education have gone down. The other issue we can also raise is books do not reach schools during when it is required, because what happens is that books are supplied by publishers to sub-county offices. Teachers are asked to come and pick those books. You can imagine they pick something they don't see, sealed in a carton. That means what if they find books that are worn out, misprinted, or wrong books supplied, they have nowhere to complain. They have nowhere to take their issues. So they go and dump those books in schools. They are dumped in all over schools. In fact, some teachers, they have what they refer as Matiang'i's Corner, where they dump those books that nobody uses. The other issue is that some schools are supplied with books that they don't require. You would find a schools being supplied with home science books, and the school does not take home science. In some places, books are supplied more than they require. So we would say the government has lost billions of money with the wrong supplies. We are here in Hande. We are asking and requesting our new government through the CS education to revert this so that schools can get value for their money by having what was being used before, where because booksellers are spread all over the country, every corner of the country we have bookshops, and it becomes very easy, efficient, effectively supply these books, and above all, let the teacher be given the opportunity to make the choice of the school of the book they want to use. So our meeting today was to emphasize. We went and took our letter to the CS yesterday, and I'm sure he will get that letter, or he got it yesterday. We are asking for an appointment with him so that we can discuss. Our core goal is to make sure the Kenyan child is assisted. And by the end of the day, because he is the children in school are the end users, that they benefit fully with the government books, and they get them in the right time. So we have resulted today, and we have already agreed that going forward, we are requesting the government through the Ministry of Education to revert the supply to the booksellers. Because we also know the government cannot do business with itself. The government cannot be the procurement entity. They cannot be the supplying entity. They cannot be the people auditing themselves. And the only way to do an open business is to have citizens supply books, government do its work of making policies, of what they know better to do, that is evaluation and auditing, so that now the Kenyan people can do business. And I'm sure with the new government, led by our able President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, will come and agree with us and will revert this business the way it's supposed to be done. I'm sure that his government is advocating on bottom-up economy. And bottom-up is empowering the common man down there to do business and pay taxes. So in our today, that's what we have resolved. We are going to engage everybody, and we are willing to work with all of us. The association has already made the solutions that we are willing to include all members, even those who are not able to make it today. We want to work as a team, and we don't want to leave anybody out. And that is what we have already agreed.
Bwana Chairman, in one of your agendas, we saw you talking about rogue operators in the business. What do you have to say about that?
In any field, haikosi wasi mmoja, but we cannot ban the whole house because of one or two people who are not doing the right things. They are not supplying books the way they are supplied. They are maybe having malpractices, but they are few, and we can be able to deal with that because the government always does auditing. Every time they release funds, after 2 to 3 months, they do auditing. We would say this: if there are people found culpable of colluding with our booksellers, we are going to deal with our booksellers ourselves, and we'll make sure anybody found not supplying books the way they should be supplied, or they are stealing from the children, or from the money meant for the children, we are going to make sure such people are not given opportunity to do business in this country. Then the ministry should deal with their head teacher. And by so doing, we convert exerted effort, all of us, we are going to make sure that this supply is so smooth, effective, and beneficial to the Kenyan child.